The moment the world thought the game was over, they changed the rules. For years, he had controlled the narrative, quietly weaving himself into the seams of Taekook's silence. Not as a villain, not even as a rival, but as a ghost that haunts every Taekook smile, every Jungkook glance, every Taehyung lyric. But ghosts only have power until the living turn around and see them. And now, Taekook is no longer looking away. They're staring right at him. It began subtly, not with fireworks, not with confrontation, but with a silence that felt like thunder. At a recent live broadcast, Taehyung and Jungkook sat side by side. It had been months since such proximity. The fandom held its breath. At first, they said nothing, just quiet smiles, laughter, and then, Jungkook turned to Taehyung with a look that cracked the entire fandom. Should we say it now, or let them keep guessing? Taehyung laughed, but it wasn't his usual airy chuckle, it was sharp, calculated. Let them guess. It's more fun that way. The comment was cryptic. To outsiders, just banter. To long-time armies, a declaration. Because for the first time in years, they weren't hiding. They weren't distancing themselves to protect someone's feelings. They were choosing each other, and he was no longer part of the equation. Days later, Taehyung did something unthinkable. A post. Just a photo of a necklace. A crescent moon pendant, the same one he wore during their earlier years. Fans with eyes like hawks recognized it immediately. It had once been seen hanging from Jungkook's mirror in his room, years ago. In a V-Live he never meant to go public. Caption: what's returned was never really gone. Within 5 minutes, he posted a selfie. Smiling. No caption. But in the background, a vinyl record playing, Taehyung's latest song. The one about hidden love. About someone watching from the shadows. Coincidence again? No. This time, it felt like a war. But if it was war, Taekook had the upper hand. Because the game wasn't played in shadows anymore. It was unfolding in the light, and the player who once thrived in the dark was now exposed. The turning point came at a behind-the-scenes documentary. Taehyung and Jungkook were rehearsing. Alone. Jungkook joked about his choreography. Taehyung teased him back. But then, in the background, a door opened. A familiar silhouette walked in. Him. Jungkook's posture changed. Not in fear, but in defiance. Taehyung didn't turn away. Instead, he watched him walk across the room, and smiled. But it wasn't warmth. It was challenge. And then, Jungkook, without looking away, said, "Funny how the script changes when the audience stops clapping, huh?" Boom. Armies knew. This wasn't subtle anymore. They knew exactly what was happening. In the following weeks, more signals poured in like a flood. Jungkook liked a fan art of Taekook under the stars, with a caption, "Real doesn't need proof. It just is." Taehyung posted lyrics from a hidden song demo. "I waited while he played. Now I play, and he watches." A fan spotted them together at a quiet rooftop bar. 2 drinks. 1 candle. No security. No fear. Just presence. And he? Silent. No posts. No lives. No comments. For the first time in years, he disappeared from the spotlight. The man who had once stepped between Taekook at every concert, every interview, every photograph, was gone. Was he defeated? No. A Real player doesn't vanish. He waits. Then came the unexpected twist. A dispatch article. Anonymous BTS member involved in covert relationship, confirmed by inner source. No names. No photos. Just clues. But fans read between the lines. The timing. The location. The references to a rooftop. A pendant. A lyric. It all pointed to them. And in a moment that stunned armies across the world, Taehyung liked the article. Just that. No denial. No sarcasm. Just acknowledgement. The real player had been dethroned, not with violence, not with exposure, but with truth so soft it burned. But then, just when fans thought it was over, he returned. At a fan sign, a fan asked him, "How do you feel about Taehyung's latest post?" He smiled. A player never reveals if he's still in the game or not. Boom. It wasn't over. It had just evolved. Because now, it wasn't about who was real. It was about who controlled the narrative. He no longer needed to stand between Taekook, because the doubt he planted had already grown into forests of confusion. For every fan who celebrated, 10 more whispered, "Is this too obvious? Are they playing us back?" Because maybe Taekook was no longer hiding from him. Maybe they had become players too. And now the board is full. 3 pieces. 3 truths. 3 versions of the story. 1. The love that bloomed in the background, soft, fragile, real. 2. The shadow who manipulated time and timing, who knew exactly how to twist a stare into a scandal. 3. The audience. Us. Who've watched, guessed, cried, celebrated. Who've tried to untangle the knots in the silence between Taehyung's lyrics and Jungkook's glances. But the most haunting truth? Maybe all of them are playing. Maybe he's still watching, not to stop them, but to see how far they'll go. Maybe Taekook has nothing left to prove, so now, they prove it loudly. Maybe this isn't about ships. Maybe this is about power. About reclaiming their story from the shadows. So here's the final question. Was he the real player? Or was he just the first one to make a move? Because now, Taekook moves freely. No fear. No apology. And as for him, he smiles from afar. Not defeated. Not erased. Just finally recognized. Not as a threat. But as a reminder that every great love story needs a villain. And sometimes, the villain's only crime was wanting to be part of the story too.